This explainer answers the question, how do I demonstrate non-consequence? In other words, how do I show that an argument is invalid? Now, we're going to start out with the understanding that an argument is valid when it's impossible for the conclusion to be false if the premise or premises are true. When we can falsify the conclusion of an argument without thereby falsifying one or more of the premises. In other words, if the conclusion can be false while the premises are true, the argument is invalid. So when we demonstrate non-consequence, what we're doing is succeeding in offering a counterexample to the conclusion at hand. Let's take a look at an example. A is a cube, A is small, B is a cube, therefore B is small. Notice that I've drawn a small cube and I have falsified the conclusion without thereby violating the truth of my premises. A is a cube, A is small, B is a cube. Notice that B is larger than A, so if A is small, B can't be small. Let's see how this works in Tarski's world. All right, so I have my premises. A is small, A is a cube, B is a cube, and the inference B is small. Going to create a couple of objects. I'll name one B, I'll name one A. As you can see, A is small. When I verify each of my premises, I get a green T, which tells me that my sentences are true in this world. B is a cube, and right now, it happens to be the case that B is small. What you don't want to do is confuse what could be true with what must be true. In other words, when you are testing for non-consequence or you're testing an argument's validity, your goal is to try to falsify the conclusion. In other words, by attempting to falsify the conclusion, you ask whether or not the inference must be guaranteed by the premises. So you generate, in this case, a B object, that is, in this case, a cube named B, and rather than make it small, you see if you can make it larger, so either medium or large, and in so doing, not violate the truth of the premises. Notice we can't. The premises are true, the conclusion is false. So if there is a world in which these premises, these sentences, do not guarantee this specific fourth sentence, you have thereby demonstrated non-consequence. Contrast that with, for example, this argument. A is a cube, A is identical to B, B is a cube. I'm going to click the check all. Notice that we have A is a cube, we have B is a cube, but the sentence A is identical to B or A is one and the same as B is false. So remember, we don't want our premises to be violated. We want our premises to be true. So we're going to make sentence 2 true. Sentence 1 is true. Sentence 2 is true. Here's the question. Given this arrangement, is there a possible world? Can we make a world in which the conclusion B is a cube, the sentence B is a cube is false? And the answer is no. There's no amount of configuring we can do given these premises to falsify the conclusion. Hence, the sentence B is a cube is in fact a logical consequence of the premises. So remember, whenever you can falsify your conclusion, you have shown that the conclusion is not a consequence of the premise or premises. I hope this explainer helps you understand the answer to the question, how do I demonstrate non-consequence?